I think she's absolutely a wonderful princess, and she studies what she's going to be involved with. I know that she studied for several years before she set up this early life and tried to help family and mothers particularly actually look after their small children, so that way it could actually stop a lot of crimes and actually people not going to school at all, and that sort of thing. And she doesn't just go along and expect it's all going to be easy. In other words, she works hard at it, and she does really what she wants. It took a while because she was with William a lot before she went on her own. And she was very, very nervous the first few times she went on her own because she wasn't used to speaking to the public. And I think you could tell that it was very difficult for her indeed. But gradually, she didn't give in, she didn't complain. And she gradually got better and better, and found it that if you know a lot and you practice, it comes to you more easily. Very pragmatic, I see her as. And so she could then go on her own way, like looking after children, looking after families, which is something she's really wanted. And what's very interesting is that she doesn't have to make a huge effort. She did military because she thought it was very important to do that, and William had been in the military, and that was right. A lot of royal women do that, like Princess Anne and now Queen Camilla. But she was happy to do that, and of course, all the soldiers would think she was absolutely super. She often used to wear the right clothes for the if they were in green uniform, she would wear green. She used to try and be I shouldn't say that in the past. She has always tried to do the right thing and to be dressed the right way. And although her dress sense early on, she didn't really feel like spending a lot of money because she didn't think that was right. But eventually she started spending a lot of money because she is a beautiful woman, and she's got, people expect her to look outstanding, which she does. She looks very natural. She looks at ease. And I noticed that she talks to William a lot, smiling, pointing out something, saying some sort of joke, or just generally. And I imagine it's her looking after him as well, seeing his mood and trying to bring him into the best mood and the most relaxed position as she is. I don't think she controls anything, but she wants to care for him. And it's a love relationship, not one where she wants to show how clever she is. Catherine has been very understanding about how the royal family works, and she's managed to work what she wants within that. She hasn't made a fuss, she hasn't complained, she hasn't behaved as if she's not being treated well. She, of course, has spent years, 10 years, with William, and so she understood him and she understood what he had to go through, although it's very different and difficult to know what you have to go to before you have to go to. It's a bit like having a baby. Everyone said, oh, it's wonderful, but actually you can be in agony and it can be very difficult. So she has had that advantage for knowing him for a long time. And I think she has used it incredibly well. From the start, when she was absolutely surrounded by cameramen and journalists shouting at her and wanting information, she just put her head down and walked very, very quickly. And she didn't really complain about that. One, because she knew that her ex-mother-in-law, who unfortunately she never met, also hated being surrounded by paparazzi. But she didn't want to upset William, I'm quite sure, so she just went through it. Children know from a very early age if they like somebody or if they don't. They can just feel it. And they all adore her because she hasn't known them. She doesn't understand what they like and what they don't like, if they like a big cuddle in one way or in another way. But they all go to her and they want to hang on, and they really love her. And that's very nice. And they can see that she's really sincere. She's not putting on another personage on top of herself. So she's all royal. She's just very, very herself. It's difficult to know if she's missing her duties. I think there comes a time when you start feeling much better and you want to do it. And the time which you still are recovering and you're tired and your brain is fuzzy and whatever, some bits can hurt, other bits won't. I think you haven't got the energy or the confidence to do that. Whereas if you really feel better, there's a moment that you suddenly are losing all the things that you've had pain over, and you can move forward. And there's a point of when you can feel that. I think you feel it after a flu or after any sort of operation, that you still can't move. Walking up the road takes you twice, three times as long, and you're absolutely exhausted. And if you've got 3 young children, you need to hang on to the energy you've got so they don't worry about you. I mean, we've seen that she's hugely interested in exercise of all sorts, and she's very competitive with William, and that's the sort of fun they have. You can see when she wins or he wins, they always laugh at each other, and it's a lovely thing that they do together. But I think if you're not well, you can't do that, so you miss out on that. He's probably not used to her being so unwell, but it's the children that are very, very important. And if they start to worry about their mother, it's very difficult. It's very disturbing for them. So she, I reckon, would make sure that on the day that she can, she is as lively and as loving and as funny and as interesting as she has been. I think she will come back and do her duty, but I think it should be slow. After an operation where you've had to stay in hospital for 2 weeks nowadays, when you have all the facilities you could imagine at home and all the help, family, friends, staff, I think that it will take a while, and I don't think she should rush it. She shouldn't have every day filled of duty and engagements that she has to do. And I think the traveling is tiring. And actually, if you're talking to young children, as much as she loves them, it's quite tiring because you've got to make double energy than if you're talking to an adult. And I think it'll be a slow process, but I hope that she will do that and come back slowly. I do think that the criticism will not make her feel well, and I think that that's a big shame. I think everyone would be thrilled to bits. I was thrilled to see the photograph. I didn't care that she'd slightly altered it. I mean, it didn't bother me one jot. I wanted to look at her, look at her face, see that it was, that relaxed, beautiful face she had, that not that she looked as if she's had a terrible time, and to see the children around her. I didn't care if they'd been put there or anything, because it was the feeling that I wanted. And I was absolutely delighted. I love the monarchy, so it's not a surprise that I was delighted. And I thought that afterwards her apology was incredibly brave of her. I think a lot of Ros might have passed it down to a member of staff, and so that they didn't tarnish them in any sort of way. But she said, what she wanted to say, that it was her fault. She was and apologize. But I also, to the extent I felt that she shouldn't have been allowed to, because somebody should have protected her and she could have sent it. But I don't think that that's the right thing. I think because someone's been ill, they might feel they can do something, and they do it before actually their body and even their mind is ready. everyone will be happy to see her, even busybodies who expect her to tell every detail of her illness. I think once they see her, they will feel relieved. I mean, the thing about the royal family is that they are very close to you because you see them grow up, you see each generation grow up, and they're not your family, but yet you are part of the family of people who like the monarchy. And it's a big worry. I mean, if you're very worried, you can get nasty. But I think once she's back, there'll be the loudest sigh of relief you can imagine, and everyone would be delighted.